Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and I am so excited because in today's video, we're talking all about some design changes that will make a huge impact in your home, but they do not have to involve renovations. They do not have to involve spending a ton of money, but they can make a huge impact. And the first thing we have to talk about is actually your furniture layout. Yes, your furniture layout can make a massive impact in your home, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way you interact in it without costing any money, right? We're just moving things around you already have. That doesn't have to be expensive. You could hire movers to do that, and if you're physically impaired, I definitely suggest you do, but you can move the pieces you already have around to completely transform your home. And a lot of us are already doing this when it comes to the holiday time, for example. If you're like me and you want a big, massive, giant Christmas tree because we're celebrating, I may have to shift around and move my furniture a little bit to fit it. That's okay, but I can also think about that when I'm not celebrating the holidays and say, what can I do? How can I move this around to really enhance the space or make it look bigger? And that's something I am always talking about, is tricking your eye into making a space feel more open and larger, and your furniture layout is the way you do that. You may also have to rethink how many pieces of furniture you have in that room, or consider bringing in a new piece. Yes, okay, that would cost you a little something, but if you have to bring in one piece to transform your home, maybe it's worth it. And I often find that homes are designed by an architect who maybe isn't thinking about where the furniture is gonna go. They're looking to tick the boxes, or they're thinking about, okay, this type of furniture can go in this house and it could be here, so let's design a house around it. But when you moved into that house, you already had furniture. So you have to work with what you already have, and sometimes that involves getting creative with a layout to accommodate that. I'll also say that some homes are very open concept, and that feels much larger in the same amount of square footage as opposed to something that's more closed or traditional concept, and that's okay, but you may actually want to do the opposite. You don't want to put your furniture in place to make the room look bigger. You want to divide it up a little bit. You have your kitchen area here, your dining in the middle, and your living room there, or whatever works for the layout of your home. You can use your furniture layouts to create magic in any space or area in your home, be it a home office, your bedroom, yes, your living room and dining room, your entryway and foyer. A layout and the furniture pieces you're using transform your home. They make a huge difference. And I actually did that in my studio here, where I shifted everything from one side of the room to the other, and it's like a completely different space. It gives me a whole new background for filming, but also it means I don't have to sit in the sun while I'm working at my computer because my back isn't to a window anymore. Like there are just things like that that make it useful, livable, functional, but also enhance the space. And this room feels way larger now, and that's something I'm very excited about. And you can come up with some creative ideas for where your furniture goes just based on looking at other homes in your neighborhood or what someone has done in a similar space. If you're living in a tract built community, maybe there's a model home and you can see what they did there. That's wonderful. Or look at what some of your neighbors did in a similar home. That works out well. I also always think it's worth, absorbing more design. Okay, go online, look at photos, flip through magazines. If you see a home and you're like, wow, that layout looks great, the house looks beautiful, or oh wait, that's very similar to what I have a look at your space, have a look at what they did, and then take some inspiration from that. Maybe it means turning the sofa in a different direction, or you say, wait a second, I have the similar window set up in my bedroom and they did this and I could do the same thing. That's how you come up with creative solutions when you're not looking at a floor plan. Like if I'm looking on paper, I can say, all right, we can put this here and shift that there, and then this is a walking path there. But sometimes when you're looking at a photo or a picture of a space, or you're in the space and you're like, gosh, what do I do? It can feel overwhelming. So look for that inspiration to determine what you can do to make those changes in your home. And if you need any more help, or you maybe need some personalized questions answered, you can always book a one-on-one virtual interior design consultation with me. We could do a little video call. I can look around your home and answer those questions for you. Be sure you head to the description box down below, click the link, or you could type in your browser intro.co/GarrettLeChic to book that call with me. And remember, the times listed are already in your time zone, so be sure you head over there and check it out. Something that makes a big difference in interior design in any home, whether it is a mansion or just the average home, a small apartment, is a color scheme. The right color scheme is going to make your home feel intentional and designed and not just decorated. But that does not have to mean one thing. It doesn't mean, oh, this is the color scheme you use only neutrals. You can have so much fun in your home and you can do that cohesively and make it beautiful. We have to look at what you're working with and build from there. If you're starting from scratch, like we have nothing going on, we have to pick a wall color. And you may be in a situation where you're like, you know what, this room needs to be painted, this whole house needs to be redone. Okay, that's a renovation, but you don't have to do that. We can take a look at what the wall colors already are and make them work for us. And I think that's amazing. So we need to start with a foundation. The wall color is that thing. And then we start building and saying, okay, what can we bring in to enhance the undertone or the base tone of this? In this office, the studio here, for example, I have a white wall color. It's actually not white, it's called Asiago. It's an off-white, it's a creamy tone, but I wanted it to feel neutralized and not one direction or the other, so I bring in warmer toned pieces like my rug. It is a brown rug. It's enhancing the brown undertones in this paint color, making it feel softer and less like a yellow cream color, which works for me. It actually works well for like filming on cameras, but that's beside the point. You can do that in your home. Say like you have a paint color already, you can't afford to paint the walls because it's not inexpensive. I completely understand that. And you're like, okay, you know, like we need to pull out the color we want. You start with other soft furnishings and layer them in to pull that out. And now we can start adding in the colors we actually want to have in this space. And there just needs to be some sort of cohesivity. We need to pull those colors through the space in every area. So I'm always saying use 3 different colors in 3 different ways. And that might mean, you know, your wall color is one, maybe you get drapes in that color, maybe you have a sofa in that color. Like, you know, that's my studio right here. I have white walls, a white sofa, white drapes. Then I can say, what's the next color? And for me, that's gonna be blue because I love blue. I have accents of blue, a blue rug, a blue ottoman here in front of me. I have blue office chairs, artwork with some blue in it. There's my blue. My third color is green, accents and pops of green. I have florals on my desk that are green. I have artwork that is green. I have a coffee table book sitting open on my coffee table that has green images, and the coffee table itself is green marble. There's my 3 colors in 3 different ways. That's how you use a color scheme in your home to create beautiful interior design. Now there's also something to be said for what you're doing paint-wise in your space. If you are going to repaint, that's the opportunity you have to really make a statement or an impact, and you can use that effectively to create beautiful design in any space, be it a living room. This is just a bedroom that I've turned into a filming studio and office for me. So, you know, this is another room I'm able to use. I have other rooms at my bedroom, a gym in our home. You know, there are things like that. So you take those colors and you use them cohesively throughout the space and even drag them into other areas. Now, here's something I think we can all agree on. One thing that does not make design look beautiful, or strong for that matter, is a mess. We don't like to see a mess in our homes. We want them to feel put together. We want them to feel organized, clean, decluttered, because it's relaxing and it allows us to embrace and enjoy that space. But when something is messy, it looks like a mess. And what am I specifically talking about? I'm talking about the way you're making your bed. Okay, your bedroom should be a sanctuary. You need to have a well-made bed to achieve that. And there are some tricks you can use, some tips that will help you get there. Number 1, I have always found that if something is difficult to do, you're not going to do it. Okay, you're just not gonna stick with it every day because it's hard. So I don't like to make my bed in a manner that's really fussy or over the top because I'm just not gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna be exhausted. Like first thing in the morning when I get up, the last thing I wanna do is make my bed. So it needs to be an easy thing to do for me to get my day started. I also am not a person that is gonna have a million throw pillows on my bed because I sleep with enough pillows. You know, I have one throw pillow, one little accent pillow. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, great. It ties everything in together. And that's more than enough for me because I already have to deal with taking that off the bed and putting it somewhere in my room. I don't need to have 10 of them. So, you know, if you have a small bench or something like that, great, put the pillow there. For me, honestly, it usually ends up just sitting at the foot of the bed, or if I didn't put away a basket of laundry and it's sitting on the floor, it just goes there. And that's just the reality of life, okay? You have to be thinking about where are we putting all of these throw pillows. So I don't use a ton of them on a bed. I just don't like that. The next thing I'm looking for is good quality bedding and linens that they're not going to look worn after one use, right? Like it's not gonna look like, oh wow, you just made the bed you just slept in. We want it to look pretty and polished and clean. So getting good quality is gonna do that for you. And last but not least, let's focus on bedding that makes the color scheme in the bedroom work. It enhances it in some way. My bedroom, the walls are all painted green, and then I have blue accents that pop, that, you know, give a little bit of vibrancy, but in a muted way. So my duvet cover is blue, my sheets are all white because I like to keep it classic like that, and then I have a green accent pillow to tie into the green walls. And the wall color is actually a soft, beautiful French green, and it's called Cooking Apple Green by Farrow and Ball, and it's a really beautiful color and great paint, so think about it. You can create beautiful design in your bedroom by having your bed well made. Bedrooms are very simple in terms of what furniture they have in them. You have a bed. Groundbreaking. You have nightstands. You might have a dresser. Maybe you have a television there. Okay, that's not that much furniture to have in a room, so we really have to be thinking about rugs and soft furnishings, and the biggest thing in your room is probably going to be your bed. It needs to be well made, but that doesn't have to mean it's overly done or fussy, because like I said, if something is hard or difficult to do or time consuming, you just are not going to do it. This isn't a decorator show house where it needs to be photographed for magazines. So have your situation be realistic so you can actually take care of it. But I think a well-made bed with high quality bedding sends a message. It also gives you the opportunity to infuse personality into that space. Like I said, bedrooms don't have a lot of furniture. There isn't always that much stuff happening in them because these are areas for relaxation. So having those spaces be overly cluttered is not doing you any favors. Have it be simple, have it be relaxing. That way you can actually relax in that beautiful space. I love a beautiful space, and I know you do too, which is why if you haven't already, I would suggest you take a moment, hit that subscribe button, join us, become a part of our GarrettLeChic family, and join us before we hit 100,000 subscribers. Call yourself an OG, click that subscribe button, and I would also greatly appreciate it if you gave this video a like. I often get asked questions about accessorizing and how to accessorize in your home in a space. And I think that is a way you can really enhance your home and make it look beautiful and designer without having to spend a ton of money, without having to get a lot of new things. You can do that through accessorizing. And what I want you to remember is that you are setting the tone for your space with your accessories. And that includes, you know, small decor pieces on tabletops or cabinets, pillows on your sofa, or even artwork on your walls. And that's where your style is really defined. Yes, you have large furniture pieces that are in one style or another, but the way they look and feel in a space is all about accessorizing. A prime example of this is in my own home. I love that for me, because what I do is I look at a space and say, okay, here are the main furniture pieces I have. Do I want it to feel more traditional or more modern? Because my style, I like to mix things. I like an iconic mid-century piece mixed with a more traditional piece of furniture. I just think that's so interesting, the juxtaposition between the two. So accessorizing those spaces is how I define the style of them. In my living room, I'm using more traditional accessories because I have more modern furniture. I have a very contemporary sofa. I have authentic mid-century chairs. I don't need to bring in a lot more modern accessories because the biggest pieces are already modern. So I'm using traditional pieces styled in a modern way in a space that is making it feel more traditional because it's my formal living room and that's what I want. You define the style of a space based on the accessories you bring into it. If you want your home to feel more modern, bring in more modern accessories. If you want that space to feel more traditional, you want it to feel Victorian, bring in those accessories. You can also do that with something like atomic mid-century, for example. You see that a lot in the desert, in Palm Springs, where you have a lot of neon colors and interesting shapes of starburst patterns. Well, that's all through accessorizing, because this is just basic mid-century furniture, and then, oh, we're bringing in that atomic element through the colors and accessories used in that space. Well, that's just accessorizing. We're defining the style with those accessories. Don't rush yourself in design, because it doesn't end up feeling authentic and beautiful unless you really put a lot of thought, care, effort and personality into it. And that's actually the next thing we have to talk about. I love personality in a home. I don't like seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And if you talk to a major designer or you look at their work or listen to them speak, they are going to talk about how they create a space, and it all comes from finding inspiration and seeing what's out there, discovering unique and interesting pieces. And that's how you start. That's the foundation you're building off of. We don't want to see the same thing over and over again. So personality is what is going to make your home feel beautiful and interesting and unique and designed because it is specific to you. So if you live in an ultra modern contemporary home, have some traditional pieces of furniture. That's interesting. Like I said, you can define your style through accessorizing. You can bring in really contemporary accessories with traditional pieces of furniture. You can also do transitional styles in those spaces that easily flow between those two. You can do so much with personality, but it's about having interest. Hang up the family photos, okay? Put them on a collage on the wall, I wanna see them. Put them in frames on the tables, I wanna see them. I don't care what your style is, all right? I wanna see what your personality is. What does your home say about you? That's the most essential thing you have to remember when it comes to your home. Don't just look at beautiful design and say, I'm gonna do that, replicate it, let me just buy all of this stuff out of a catalog and do it. No. I wanna see something interesting in your home and something that I know I'm only gonna see from you. Maybe it's a certain color, maybe it's about a trip you took, or maybe you got really inspired by your time in this place. That's great. I think that's amazing and wonderful. Like I've told you 1,000,001 times, I have all of these clients whose style varies so greatly. I'm working on a modern contemporary kitchen. I'm working with someone who has really beautiful Tuscan design and she has a great home for it. So there's all sorts of different design out there and your personality is gonna have to fit into them, but don't give me the same cookie cutter thing over and over again. We're tired of it. We want something interesting, but we want something beautiful at the same time. So don't sacrifice either one of those things. Have what feels personal to you and what feels beautiful for your home and enhances your home, takes the most advantage of what you have. I also find that people think that what they have is not enough or not good enough or not capable of being beautiful. It could not be further from the truth. False, no, just because you see someone's bigger home in a magazine doesn't mean you can't do something beautiful. So look at what designers are doing in their own homes, in smaller homes, what they've done in little apartments. Get inspiration from that to understand that you can have beautiful spaces in design and incredible personality infused into them without compromising on what feels natural and looks good. Because at the end of the day, you want to have a space that reflects your personality and makes you happy to live in. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure you check out this one right over here, all about how to decorate the average home like a pro. You can have an incredibly beautiful home without compromising. So be sure you check out this video and I will see you right over there.